Back-to-back, their fifth game in 7 nights. They continue their offensive onslaught, and they bludgeon the LA Lakers. The final score, Boston 126, LA 105.
Basketball. Woo. Hooray. Celtics-Lakers. Something I should be excited about. I was legitimately looking forward to coming in here tonight, previewing the game, reacting to the game, being on the air. I love my job, don't get me wrong. I'm very lucky to do what I do. And it's probably not going to sound like it in this moment because I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed by what I saw tonight. I'm disappointed as a fan by the experience that all of us just got with the Celtics-Lakers game tonight, and that's where we start. It's Matt McCarthy in for Joe Murray tonight. We're here until 11 o'clock. What did I just watch? Somebody help me out with this. Can somebody explain this to me as to what I just watched? And I guess the answer to it is I just watched the Celtics and the Lakers. I guess. Or whatever that was. Because that wasn't Celtics-Lakers, and we all know it was not Celtics-Lakers. No LeBron, no Luka, nobody plays. It's just another night in the NBA, a second night of a back-to-back. Oh, well, we got to put our feet up. I mean, how do they possibly expect us to play on the second night of a back-to-back? Oh, the Warriors in the NBA. Won't somebody think of the Warriors in that league who, I mean, go out there and put their bodies on the line every single night? You've got to be kidding me with what this product has become. Let me just tell you something right now, all right? Heed my warning, NBA. Heed my warning. You cannot continuously insult and offend and degrade and demean your fans with a product. And I know this because I watched my sport go through it for years with baseball in a slightly different way, but the pace of play was so bad and the product was tough to watch, and there was no action. And for years, and I'll raise my hand, I was one of these people in the first part of the stretch where I say, no, the game isn't the problem, the league isn't the problem, you're the problem. You can't accept it. Well, you just don't like baseball. And that's what I told people. I was wrong, and I was dead wrong in that moment, because baseball went through a phase where they insulted their fans with the product, the style of play, the pace of play, and what was being put on the field every single night. And that's what's happening with the NBA. Not only with the style of play, which is just bombs away from three. And by the way, the Celtics have shot the ball really well in the last couple of nights, but keep an eye out for this. They've been shooting more threes in the last couple of nights, and they've gotten away with it because the Wizards stink and don't want to win basketball games. And the Lakers had no interest in playing a basketball game tonight. So the Celtics just go out there in an uncontested manner, just bombs away from three straight out of their ass, and they hit 53% of them, and they run away with the game. But that's what the NBA has become. It's just bombs away. The fans don't want that. But more importantly, beyond the style of play in the NBA right now, it is what you actually get on a nightly basis in the regular season. It is offensive. Offensive. Tonight's game was an embarrassment for the National Basketball Association. That was an embarrassment. And I don't know how you can feel any other way. Whether you're the world's biggest NBA fan, just a regular NBA fan, a casual NBA fan, somebody who went to the game tonight, somebody who works these games and covers the game. I don't know how you can look at the product that was willfully, consciously, and deliberately put on the floor tonight by the National Basketball Association and feel any other way. It's an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment for the league. That was a non-competitive game from the start, from the jump, in what should be one of the premier nights of the season for the Celtics, and you and I and everybody else as fans got robbed of that experience. All right? The Lakers didn't give a crap tonight. LeBron didn't give a crap. How many games has Luka missed at this point? And this is what happened. Oh, what? Because it's the second night of a back-to-back? You paid dynamic pricing. What did you pay to go to this game tonight? I feel badly for you. I feel legitimately badly for fans who forked out their hard-earned money tonight to go to this game because it was supposed to be a premier night, and LeBron just doesn't want to play. That's it. That's what it comes down to. LeBron just didn't want to play, and the Lakers just didn't want to play because it's a Friday night, and the poor Los Angeles Lakers played last night. Won't somebody shed a tear for the Los Angeles Lakers for playing so hard last night? Where did the Lakers play last night? Where were they? Were they in New York?
Toronto.
They were in Toronto. How long does it take to fly from Toronto to Boston? An hour? An hour and 20? But they had to go through customs. Won't somebody think of the Lakers and poor LeBron and his sciatica and his arthritis? Is that what they said he was missing tonight's game with? Sciatica and arthritis?
He's getting old, McCarthy.
Sciatica and arthritis. Give me a break. Oh, but you're still playing in the league with your arthritis and your sciatica? Dude, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for LeBron. And more importantly, it's just an encapsulation of what the NBA is nowadays. LeBron didn't play, but Bronny did. Because that's what the league is. Just a mascot out there because daddy doesn't want to play. That's it. That's the NBA. It's offensive, and it's a slap in the face of the fans. And by the way, the Celtics are no better at this. Thank God Jaylen Brown is okay. I know he was so sick last night that he couldn't play in Washington. Again, against a team that literally tries to lose every game and has been trying to lose every game for years now. But I know he was so sick. The miracles of modern medicine that we were able to get Jaylen Brown out there on the court tonight to play a basketball game. The guy gets paid $300 million. And thank God. If this were the 1800s, he would have died with whatever illness he had last night. But you know what? Modern medicine, baby. He's out there. It's offensive. It's a slap in the face to the fans. The league insults your intelligence on a nightly basis. It happened last night. It happened tonight. It's happening across the league, and it's just what it is. So when you go out and you buy an NBA ticket, and one that has dynamic pricing like this game tonight because it's Celtics-Lakers, it's a Friday night, it's an Amazon Prime game, and a ticket that would normally cost you $100 costs you $400, and you go out there and you take your kid to the game because you want to see LeBron and you want him to experience that, and he just doesn't play. That's what the league is. That's what the league is. Oh, not to mention, too, the league is rigged by the mob, and guys are going to federal prison for it. So other than that, everything else is really good in the NBA. Did I encapsulate everything there, Skaz? Are we good?
No.
Did I miss anything?
Well, not that you've missed it, but the part that really, as an NBA fan, as someone who likes to defend the NBA, I wouldn't say likes to, but is almost forced in a position to at times. The NBA did this one to themselves tonight. I understand wanting to blame LeBron and wanting to blame the Lakers. Luka had a kid born. Can't really blame him for that. Maybe, time it out better so he's not born, in the middle of the season. It would be maybe a Mike Felger take.
I will leave that take to Mike Felger.
Yes.
I'm not going anywhere near it. You call Felger on Monday with your Luka takes. I'm not taking that take.
Yeah,
tonight.
so taking all that out of it, the NBA should never, ever, ever schedule Celtics-Lakers for their, ticketed Prime, Amazon Prime game, new partner, new marketing, all that. You're trying to make it a marquee game, and it's the second night of a back-to-back for both teams in 2025. You're right about everything, about, guys resting. It's why I give Jason Tatum a lot of credit.
I do too.
And even Jaylen Brown for most of the time, when Al Horford and Porzingis and Holiday would miss time, Tatum and Brown were always out there. And Tatum has said as much that it means something to him to travel to these arenas and be out there. But when the NBA schedules a back-to-back for both teams, Celtics-Lakers, on a Friday night in early December, what did they think was going to happen?
No, you're right, Skaz.
This is the NBA's fault.
No, it is, because they don't care about it. They don't care to fix this issue. The NBA has no interest in fixing this issue. They think they can just continuously insult their fans and get away with it. And that's the way the league operates. And that's what this was tonight. And, I mean, in the end, Skaz, I don't know if there's an easy answer to fixing it, because the easy answer is, well, you eliminate back-to-backs. But then guys are going to start taking time off too, whether it's a back-to-back or not. And if you eliminate back-to-backs, the season's going to go all year long. So in that case, you'd have to eliminate games, which we're not going to do, because the money involved in that. Well, okay, let's eliminate back-to-backs in the regular season. Why don't we shorten the first round of the worthless first round of the NBA playoffs to 5 games? You're not going to do that because you've sold those stock of games to about 17 million media partners right now. So the answer is they're not going to do anything about this. They're going to continuously insult you and demean you and degrade you as a fan, because tonight this is a demeaning product. A demeaning product. They don't give a crap about you. Not one bit. And they're just going to keep on taking your money. And it is what it is. And I'm telling you, Skaz, and you know how strongly I feel about this. You love hoops. It's your number one sport. You know the sport extremely well, but you're in the same position that I was in 10 years ago, where it's like, I don't want to have to defend the league, but I do because I love the sport and I feel very passionate about it. You can't keep doing this to your fans. The NBA can't keep doing this. The same way that baseball couldn't keep doing what it was doing to their fans for a decade plus with pace of play and, just you want to talk about, at times baseball's regular season feels worthless. Baseball's regular season feels about 1 million times better than this. I mean, they play every day, and generally most players play. They don't have this problem which is saying something.
And just to add on to your point, not only can you not expect fans to be dialed in for all 82 if the players aren't dialed into all 82, they're not even dialed into all 75 to make half of the accolades these days. We thought that would help. That they don't seem to really care about that either. But you especially can't ask fans to be invested in 82 games when it feels like they're on 82 different networks as well. You can't have the guys not out there and on 7 different streaming platforms.
Yep.
And that's a whole different argument for a whole nother day. But the NBA is spreading itself a little too thin on and off the floor, if you ask me.
What did Mark Cuban say?
Pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered.
That's what I'm telling you. That's what's happening to the NBA. And it's reflecting in the NBA Finals ratings. I talked about this when baseball's World Series ratings came out, which were incredible. Obviously, you had an all-time World Series, which helped, but baseball's ratings have significantly improved ever since, again, they stopped insulting their fans with the product they were putting on the field. The NBA's ratings, it's not even close. I mean, baseball's dusting them by 53%. 53%? You got 9 million people on average tuning in for the NBA Finals this past year. And it wasn't much better when it was Boston and Dallas a year before that. It was like 10.5 million, 11 million. If you expect people to not watch during the regular season and you can't find the games, and then when you go to the game, star players aren't playing, eventually they're going to stop tuning into the big games, the stuff that matters, because you've continuously insulted them and demeaned them and degraded them. It's happening to the league, I'm telling you right now. So your thoughts on this? It's just... do you want me to talk about the game? How can I talk about the game? The Lakers didn't try. The Lakers didn't care. And the Celtics are starting to play better basketball, I think. I mean, hard to say the last 2 nights when you've got Washington, who does not give a crap, wants to lose, actively wants to lose. And then I get the Lakers tonight, who don't play anybody. So the Celtics have won 9 out of 11. They've won 4 in a row. 6 out of 7, 11 out of 15. Since starting 0-3, the Celtics are 14-6. They're playing better basketball. They're in the middle of the pack in the Eastern Conference, which is exactly where I thought they would be and should be. So they've turned it around. They've started playing better basketball. I wish I could legitimately dive into that tonight. Let's talk about the game. But in the end, how can you talk about the game when you know it's not actually a game? It's a frustrating experience. It's just the Lakers didn't give a crap tonight. It's a waste of time, which sucks because you and I just get robbed about sitting here and breaking down a Celtics win over the Lakers, which should feel something. It should make you feel something. But that's not the Lakers tonight, and you know that. You know that. Sucks, man. I don't know what else to tell you. I do have one takeaway, though, which we'll get to. One takeaway from the last 2 nights, because there's not that much you can really legitimately analyze. But there's one takeaway that we'll get to about the Celtics' offensive approach. and your thoughts. I see on the lines you want to talk about this. We will. 617-779-0985. Quick update. No commercials, just the headlines here. We'll continue with you. It's Matt McCarthy in for Joe Murray.
From the Tell Your Time Studios, WBZ FM and HD1. It's not just the games. It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Essential Sports Hub headline, presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
All right, the Celtics beat the Lakers tonight, or what showed up at the Lakers, 126-105, 30 points for Jaylen Brown in the win as he returned to the lineup. Celtics now look ahead to their game in Toronto on Sunday. FIFA held the World Cup draw today. United States will play in Group D against Australia, Paraguay, and the winner of a European playoff between Turkey, Romania, Slovakia, and Kosovo. Meanwhile, France and Brazil are in line to play group stage matches in Foxborough. Also a chance that England will play in Foxborough during the group stage. That official information expected to come out tomorrow. Around the NFL, Lamar Jackson will suit up for the Ravens on Sunday against the Steelers. Kyler Murray done for the year with his foot injury. MLB winter meetings starting on Sunday. Ken Rosenthal today connecting the Red Sox to Bo Bichette. The Mets, meanwhile, claiming Cooper Criswell after the Red Sox designated him for assignment. Headlines are brought to you by Eastern Massachusetts leader in drain cleaning and pipelining, Drains by James. Slow drain, clogged drain. You need to contact Drains by James today at drainsbyjames.com. I'm Matt McCarthy on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update, 30 minutes.
Here we go. Boom. I win. Boom. Yeah. It's so funny.
We've got a passion for Boston sports.
Get angry.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
Mentioned that King Philip, Scott Zolak's own King Philip, won the Division III Super Bowl tonight. They beat North Attleboro 20-10, the final from Gillette. I do see some people wondering why King Philip is in Division III. I'm not here to offer any comments on that. I don't know. Don't talk to me about it. And why Catholic Memorial, I think, is in Division II. Take it up with the MIAA. Don't take it up with me. But at least both teams, all teams playing in Foxborough this weekend for the state Super Bowls, they're all trying. Unlike the Lakers tonight, unlike the NBA. And we get to you at 617-779-0985. How about Cole in the car to lead us off? Hey, Cole.
Hey, calling in. Went to the game. Can't believe I spent $200 a week ago for nosebleeds just for that crap. The craziest part, too, is the second half, the loudest pop was the wrong LeBron James hitting a three. And just wanted to get your thoughts on if you caught that.
Oh, yeah. That's the NBA, Cole.
It's despicable. Yeah, it's despicable.
No, let's cheer the mascot when he comes in because Daddy doesn't want to play tonight. What type of product is that? Seriously. Well, you didn't get LeBron because he didn't want to play, but you get Bronny in a blowout because the Lakers have been down 30 all night. $200 for that? I'm sorry. It's consumer fraud is what it is. The National Basketball Association is consumer fraud. With the guys who actually play and, the guys who are playing in the game who are in the process of throwing it because they're connected to the mob. And now we're going to federal prison. So, yeah, it's been a banner year for the NBA. Things good, strong for the association. Justin in Lynn. Hey, Justin.
Hey, Matt, I want to tell you, I agree with you. But I like the win, but I think that was a horrible product by the NBA and a horrible way for fans to have to consume their money to go to that game and watch that product. That's horrible.
Justin, I couldn't agree more. And this is the fans. These are the people I'm upset for tonight. The folks who went and spent their hard-earned money on a product that they thought was going to be something different. You thought you were going to see LeBron's maybe last game at the Garden. You thought you were going to see a Lakers team that tried, a Lakers team that's second in the West. And instead, you get two teams off the second night of a back-to-back. Now, if you were in Washington last night to see the Celtics play, you didn't get to see Jaylen Brown because he didn't want to play in that one because he had the bubonic plague. And was miraculously healthy enough to go drop 30 in this game tonight. And, LeBron with his arthritis and his sciatica, which has to be the most hilarious injury designation I've ever heard in my life. His arthritis and his sciatica does not play in this game. But guarantee you he'll play on Sunday Night Basketball when the Celtics are out there. I think they're out there in February or whenever they are on NBC. So it is what it is. And I mean, Grandy and Max talked about it a little bit after the game, and that Max summed it up best. He said, buyer beware. It's like, hey, listen, man, you want to spend your money on this? Just know what you're getting yourself into. And it is true. I mean, buyer beware. I mean, I feel badly for you. I do, but a fool and his money are quickly parted, I guess. And this is just the way the NBA is. But that sucks because you deserve better as a fan. You deserve better. How about Gordon in Amherst? Hey, Gordon.
Hi, Matt. I have a quick comment about your topic. Then I have a question about Grandy's interviews of Joe. Mm-hmm. It's kind of an off-topic question, but I want to ask you.
Sure.
So my comment is that I do not like seeing 40, 50, 63s chucked up. I don't like seeing layups passed up to throw it out to the line to get threes. That's not basketball for me. So I've been quite sick of that. And I hope they do something. I think the best thing to do would be just to have 3-point shots during the second and fourth quarters. That's the best solution I've heard of. Anyway, and then my question for you is, whenever Grandy interviews Joe, about 3 minutes before the interview ends, he says, "That's Joe," and then the interview goes on. Do you know why he does that?
He's always done that for years. And Skaz, you can speak to this as somebody who's produced Celtics games, that he always says that's the head coach, and he kind of asks his final question, which is a little bit more off topic, I would say. Yeah. And because Grandy and Joe have a really good rapport, they just kind of go back and forth. So that's why he does it.
I would say that's a very apt explanation.
I don't want to speak for Sean, but I've listened to enough Celtics broadcasts over the years that he did the same thing with Brad Stevens, and those interviews were awesome. They were great. Grandy and Brad were just must listen. And they would get to the point where they'd go on 5 or 6 minutes after that's the head coach, and then they just start busting balls. And it's good stuff.
Tremendous interviews from a producer's perspective. You got to trim those down a little bit. When it was Brad, you're like, hey, we got a tight ship to run, pregame. But
those guys got real comfortable with one another. I will say, I was producing those games maybe in Brad's second year, and it was a little bit. They hadn't quite developed their rapport yet. By the time you came along, Skaz, those guys were. It
was a talk show.
Talk pigs and crap out there. Anytime they just sit down, and they couldn't wait. It's like, hey, Brad, you gotta go coach the game. By the way, like let's go. Let's call those things. And you are right about the 3 points. So here's one thing you can take away from the last two nights, Skaz. You know how many 3-pointers the Celtics have taken in the last two nights?
Combined?
Yes.
I'm going to guess 75.
94.
Okay, that's a lot.
They're starting to trend back in that direction. Watch out. And they've been able to trend back in that direction because Washington doesn't want to win, and the Los Angeles Lakers didn't want to play basketball tonight.
Certainly didn't want to play defense.
No, they did not. No interest. So the Celtics have been able to hit some 3-pointers because it's been uncontested. Watch out for it. They started to play better basketball after the abomination that was that Utah Jazz game where they shot 51 threes. I think they're starting to feel themselves a little bit. They're starting to get a little bit comfortable with it. We know this is how Joe Mazzulla wants to play, and he doesn't have the roster to play this way, but so he kind of backed off after that Utah game. I'm guessing somebody got to him. Somebody talked to him, but now they're playing better basketball. They just played two teams who were not serious, and they shot 94 threes. They shot over 50% tonight, and they shot 45% last night. So they've basically been 50% the last two games. Keep an eye out on Sunday. Watch Sunday. I kind of like the under, and I kind of like Toronto in that spot. They're getting a little too comfortable with it. And we know that's not the style of basketball they can play if they want to win these games. Obviously, these last two nights have been different because the opponents just have not been serious. 617-779-0985. How about John in the car? Hey, John.
Yeah, I disagree with a couple of your takes. The first one that I disagree with was that I lost my train of thought. The first take that I disagree with was that I don't know, man. I just lost my train of thought.
That this is not a serious product for the NBA?
Yes, is that the product that we saw tonight was the result of the second night of a back-to-back. That had nothing. That poor product that we saw had nothing to do with that. It had, even if both teams hadn't played since last Sunday, we would have saw this same product.
No,
and the reason why
LeBron would have played.
Yes, if Luka was still here, if Luka didn't have a child, LeBron would have played. LeBron didn't want to take the court without Luka because he didn't want to get his ass kicked and have everybody say, "Oh, LeBron's done." So that was the first thing that I disagreed with, is that this product had nothing to do with the second night of a back-to-back.
Okay.
If everybody played and then the product was crappy, then you could have said that the second night of a back-to-back was why everybody trashed.
Yeah, and I got to let you go on that, John, because we got a whole bunch of people on the line. But you're telling me that NBA players just don't sit out games? It happens all the time, and it happens for a million different reasons. And this problem is endemic in the NBA. So whether it's because Luka didn't play, so LeBron didn't want to play, or LeBron didn't score 10 points last night, so he didn't want to play tonight, or it's the second night of a back-to-back, or whatever. There are always going to be a million reasons why guys don't play. Jaylen Brown didn't play last night. But again, he was violently ill, apparently. He was very sick. He had the illness. Looked fine to me tonight. This is the way the NBA is. It happens across the league. This is not individual to tonight. It's not. And tonight just encapsulates it all. But this happens every single night in the NBA for a million different reasons. Players don't play. They don't. Look at games played for star players. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. How about John in the car? Hey, John.
Hey, how you doing?
What's up, man?
Yeah, I just wanted to I went to the game tonight. I'm just driving home right now. And I actually really enjoyed the game. And I really don't agree with your take on this. I didn't feel disrespected or demeaned at all. And I think it's really a great opportunity for us to see some of the younger players play. I think it's super exciting to watch Jordan Walsh emerge as a real force. Ugo didn't have a great game tonight, but he's a fun player to watch. Josh Minot has been terrific. The team is playing better and better. They're defensively playing very well. And, I don't know how you can blame a guy for taking time off to have a child born.
I'm not doing that. Have I mentioned that once about Luka tonight? It's about LeBron.
Well, no, and I understand what you're saying, but I was at the game and I like the product.
I'm not here to yuck your yum. All right, and if you had a great time at the game, I'm not here to take that experience away from you. I just don't know, John, if everybody feels that way.
McCarthy. They won. Who cares who played? Who cares I spent $400 on a ticket? The Celtics won by 20, baby.
And listen, if you spend $400 and you don't care that LeBron didn't play and the Celtics won, that's great. Good for you. Knock yourself out, man. I just don't know if the average fan feels that way. You might be a hardcore, you love the way that Jordan Walsh is playing. I do too. Skaz, seriously, how awesome has Jordan Walsh been in these last few games? It's been great.
I think he's 20 of his last 21 from the field. So I would say that's good. That's
a good thing. And watching how hard he played last night in particular, just the impact that he had on the defensive side of the ball, that's a really good thing. The Celtics are playing better basketball. This is not necessarily a Celtics take. It's an overall NBA take. But this problem permeates itself throughout the league, and I think in the end it turns fans off. There are going to be some fans out there who are hardcore basketball people who love watching Josh Minot, have a game, right? There are going to be hardcore basketball fans who are totally into seeing Gabe Vincent tonight. But that's just not the average fan, I don't think. That's just my sense. How about Eric in New Hampshire? Hey, Eric.
Hey, how you doing? I pretty much agree with a lot of the stuff you said. And it's true in a lot of professional sports, not just basketball. It seems like it's just there's just too many media outlets. The games seem watered down. I grew up with the Celtics back in the mid-late 60s. That's when the game was great. It was just raw basketball. But then when the 3-point shot came around, like you alluded to, I think that really put the game backwards. And now it's really taking the game backwards.
You know, sometimes, Eric, I try to be careful, right, about, well, the game was better back in my day. It's real easy to be back in my day guy. We all have a tendency to do it. But I fought the fight on baseball for so many years. And you want to talk about the ultimate sport where it's easy to say back in my day. Trust me, I know. Mr. Baseball over here. You want to talk about the 1960 World Series in Game 7? Have at it. You call into the Matt McCarthy show on the weekend, baby. We'll talk about Jackie Jensen in Home Run Derby. I mean, I will take your call. You get 5 minutes, buddy. 5 minutes on a Sunday afternoon with me. But you're right, the game was better back in the 80s and the 60s. The game was better. The game was better. The game was better. The game was better. The same way that baseball was better back then, before the sport encountered its problems with pace of play. Before basketball encountered its problems with style of play. Just bombs away from three, and most importantly, star players don't play. Star players don't play in the NBA. Go back and look at games played. Guys in the 80s, they played every single night. Bird in the 80s when he scored 60, right? That game was played in New Orleans, wasn't it? You would probably know. I wasn't alive, but I think that game was played in New Orleans. In this day and age, does the Larry Bird equivalent play when you go to New Orleans? Probably not. So the game was better in that sense, for sure. The NBA is in a bad spot right now. I don't know. If you want to defend the league, if you're a basketball person, I mean, have at it, 617-779-0985. I'm just calling it as I see it on this one. I just don't think the league's in a good spot, and I think tonight was an encapsulation of really big problems that the NBA is encountering. We'll continue. I see on the phone lines, one open line. Grab it right now. It's Matt McCarthy in for Joe Murray, 617-779-0985.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the
I just came out of the Celtics game tonight and just have to say it was, with this highly anticipated, advertised game, the worst sporting event I have been to in a very long time. These tickets, my Christmas gift, came with availability of Luka Doncic and LeBron. And what did I get tonight? Neither of them. It was horrible. I mean, it's hard to blame Doncic because, he has valuable reasons to be out with the kid and a newborn kid. That's valid reasoning. But what LeBron did, especially to me, because I've loved LeBron my whole life, I can't forgive him. It's a small injury, and you don't want to play in one of the biggest rivalries in all of sports. I don't understand. And I understand now why all the media directs their attention to why NBA ratings have been down since, the COVID era.
Yeah, because you insult the fans. Because the NBA is insulting the fans with their product. And tonight was just another example of it. Nathan in Wakefield. Hey, Nathan.
Hey, I was also just at the Celtics game, and, it's so bad that the best part of it was when Bronny James hit a three at the end of the game. Even for Celtics fans, that's just awful that the biggest rivalry game and the best player in basketball doesn't even play.
It's pathetic. And I'm not saying fans cheering at Bronny when he hit a shot was pathetic. What more do you want from that? You gave the fans nothing for 46 minutes tonight. Fans spend $400 on those seats, dynamic pricing, all of that. And the NBA gives you that. You have to find something to cheer for. I don't blame you one bit if you did that. How about, is this Chill? Chill.
Guy.
What's up,
Jay?
Man? Oh, Jill. Jill. Hi, Jill. How you doing? It says Chill here. Hi, Jill. How you doing?
I'll accept that. My name's Jill. Yeah. So it was really refreshing to hear you talk about the degradation of the quality of the product, because I've been feeling that for the last couple of years. Lifelong Celtics fan. I was almost born at a Celtics playoff game in the 80s that my dad forced my mom to go to. And I've been seeing the WNBA putting up a better basketball product in the last couple of years.
No doubt. And Jill, I'll let you go on that because we're up against it. Thank you for calling in. Also, intern River, you're here in the studio because you're going to do the headlines. How on God's green earth? We get River's mic turned on there for a second. You need to answer. You need to answer for this. How did you get Chill from Jill?
You know what? I don't know. I thought I heard Chill, and I was like, is her name actually Chill? But I was like, all right, that's what I heard, so we'll just put it down. But in hindsight, I probably should have put two and two together and realized that probably wasn't someone's name.
River is he's the Ron Burgundy of call screeners.
What are they teaching this kid at Springfield, huh? What's the deal with that? But no, Jill's right. Caitlin Clark comes to Boston and you sell out the Garden, right? Because Caitlin Clark's going to play and she's going to give you something to watch. You're going to get what you paid for. You don't get what you pay for in the NBA. Caller couldn't be more right about that. How about Lee in Boston? Hi, Lee.
Hi, Joe. Can you hear me?
Hi, Lee. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
What's up?
Listen, I agree with you 100% of what you said about the professional basketball players and then not playing. And this is why I have a hard time comparing them to the basketball players of old, the real great ones. They shouldn't be compared.
It's a different era, and I'm going to let you go on that. But, again, I don't want to do back in my day because there's no lower form of conversation than remember when, right? We all know that. But remember when players actually played in the league? I remember. Luke in the car. Hey, Luke.
Hey, yeah, thanks for taking the call. So I was also at the game, and, I enjoyed it, but we blew them out. So, of course, I'm going to enjoy it. But I completely agree with you. I wouldn't necessarily put this on the players because none of the stars really play on back-to-back. It's, of course, soft for LeBron to choose to play in Toronto versus play in Boston, the biggest rivalry in sports. That's ridiculous. But, I can't really blame him too much. It's a back-to-back. He's 40 years old. So it's outrageous that the NBA would schedule a Celtics-Lakers Friday night game to be when both teams are on the second night of a back-to-back and at 7 p.m. What the hell is that?
Yeah, no, Luke, no doubt about that. And they threw Amazon a bone, and then they boned Amazon. That's what they did. But I mean, yes, the league should be aware. Of course, the league should be aware that they set this up, and of course, they did. They set it up. But it speaks to a bigger problem. I mean, guys can't play on back-to-backs. All right, maybe a 40-year-old you don't want playing on a back-to-back. I kind of understand that. But nobody plays on back-to-backs in the NBA anymore. So what are we going to do? Eliminate back-to-backs? Make the season go 11 months out of the year? You're not going to do that. And if you eliminate back-to-backs, guys are just going to start taking time off anyway. I mean, I don't want to go to Milwaukee, so I'm not going to play in Milwaukee. I don't want to go to Oklahoma City, so I'm not going to play in Oklahoma City. That's what it's going to become. And there's already a little of that going on in the first place. It's a bigger problem, and I don't know how the NBA fixes it. How about Ryan in North Andover? Ryan.
Hey guys, how you doing? I think that last caller really hit on it, like where it was coming. I was at the bar tonight, and it's like, I wasn't really there to watch a Celtics game, but it's like, you can see people like, oh, can you put the Celtics game on? And then all of a sudden, like, there's a scramble where they can't figure out how to do it. And then, oh, it's on Amazon. Great. And it's like, I think that's more the problem. And, like,
so
who are these Celtics fans that are saying, I love LeBron and I want to see him? Who gives a crap about LeBron James? Like, if you're a real Celtics fan, you hate this guy, and you remember Paul Pierce dunking on his ass in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, I don't care. If I was going to the game tonight, I would have just been happy they blew them the hell out and got out of there with a victory.
I mean, hey, if you want to feel that way, if you'd be happy with that, and I mean, we all obviously are happy with that. I don't blame you for feeling that way one bit, but you're right, too. Not to mention, you go to a bar tonight, you're hanging out with your friends, you're like, hey, put the Celtics game on. Oh, it's Celtics-Lakers. And the game's not on because it's on Amazon Prime. I had this exact same experience. I go out Friday night, Red Sox-Tigers, Red Sox on the verge of clinching a playoff spot, and like, hey, can you put the game on? They're like, dude, we don't have Apple TV. You can't put the game on. Accessibility, one of the greatest threats to sports and one of the greatest threats to fandom. Seeing the best players, seeing the game you want to see, where you want to be able to watch it, and how you want to be able to watch it. Whether it's spending $500 on a ticket tonight to end up watching Gabe Vincent, or whether you're going out to the bar with a couple of buddies because it's a Friday night, you want to blow off some steam from the work week and just have the Celtics game casually on in the background, and if it's a close game, we'll get locked in on it. If not, I'm just going to sit here shooting the crap with my friends. Like, you don't get that experience depending on what bar you're going to and whether they've got Amazon Prime in the package and whether they're legally allowed to show it. It's not great. 617-779-0985. Let's get a quick update here from intern River Mitchell. Then we'll be back with you. It's Matt McCarthy in for Joe Murray.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Celtics beat the Lakers today by a score of 126-105 to bring their record to 14-9 on the season. The Lakers tonight were without LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and Marcus Smart. Jaylen Brown scored 30 points,
I don't watch a ton of full games. I like to throw the highlights on. NBA highlights used to be sick. You used to see tons of blocks, alley-oops. Alley-oops are like an endangered species now. Even the highlights are boring in the NBA now. You put it on, it's like watching shooting practice. It's just dudes making uncontested threes. That's pretty much it.
No, Rob, I would agree with you on that. I think the casual fan is rejecting the style of play in the NBA. It's rejecting the way the product is being presented. I mean, and I say that as basketball's not my number one sport. Baseball's my number one sport. I mean, I lived it in baseball where the fans rejected the style of play, which was just strikeouts, swing out of your ass, and the game's going to take 4 hours. Fans walked away from the sport for a while over that. Now they're coming back, given that has changed. There's more action, more balls in play. Games are taking 2.5 hours, and people are coming back. People are watching in big-time numbers. So, I think the NBA is experiencing a lot of the same thing. How about Brad in New Hampshire? Hi, Brad.
Hey, Matt. First off, unrelated to the previous point, but I was going to say can't wait to see Mbappe versus Holland. How you've mentioned the soccer coming to
you and me both,
Foxborough. That will be insane. Hopefully none of those two take load management off, which is the point that I was going to get to here. Where I was going to say, LeBron's not dumb. I think he's a very smart individual, but I think he chose to play in Toronto over playing in Boston. He's shown a habit of not playing in the Garden when he's an underdog lately against these Celtics team, which I think that he knew going in without Luka. And I think with Kawhi's load management and everything that he's started to do lately, it gives him a cop-out that he never really had before, which I think he's taking advantage of. But that's all I want to come in with. Thanks again.
Brad, I agree. I mean, it's a million different reasons. He played last night. Luka wasn't there. And I don't want to hone in on the LeBron thing because it's no different than a whole bunch of other players in the NBA. Kawhi, Paul George, guys don't play. Nobody plays in the league. And Skaz made the point earlier, and it's a good point. It's one of the things I admire the most about Jason Tatum. The guy plays every single night, and we do not give him enough credit in this town for that, because that is an increasingly rare thing in the NBA, to have a star player who wants to play every single night, who wants to play, 79 games in an 82-game season. I'm curious. Actually, let's pull up Jason Tatum's games played over the course of his career. Games played. 80, 79, 66, that was in the COVID year, shortened. 64, then 76, 74, 74, 72. Which is, he is a modern-day NBA Iron Man playing 72 games in an NBA regular season, only taking 10 games off. So it just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen anymore in the NBA. 617-779-0985. The caller did mention Mbappe coming to Foxborough, which, by the way, I think France and Brazil are going to play an international friendly in Foxborough in March before the World Cup. Now, we don't have the official dates yet, but I will just tell you that based on the way that the group draw went today, France and Brazil are going to play in Foxborough. We don't know what the games are going to be yet. It would be awesome if that France-Senegal game was in Foxborough. That will be, I think, one of the better group stage games. That's going to be a really good matchup between France and Senegal. So France and Brazil are coming here. There's also a chance that England will come here in the group stage, but I think it's pretty much guaranteed that France and Brazil come here. So that's what you get for the Foxborough games. We'll get the official kind of breakdown tomorrow for the group stage games in Foxborough. But overall, and Skaz, I'll bring you in on this as well. And before we break down who got lucky and who didn't at the World Cup today in the group draw, the United States got a really, really favorable draw, I think. Just so for those who don't follow the World Cup draw, what happens is they take the top-ranked teams in the world and they put them into the first pot. And then they do the second pot with the next group of teams, the third pot with the third group of teams based on the FIFA rankings, and the fourth pot based on, the group 4 of the teams in the FIFA ranking. If you're the host nation, you go into pot 1, which theoretically gives you a slightly easier draw. The United States got, in their draw, Australia as their Group 2 team. Australia is not one of the best 16 teams in the world, if you ask me. They got Paraguay from Group 3, pot 3. Probably one of the better pot 3 teams, but still not the best. They avoided Holland and Norway in that group. And then in Group 4, they got the winner of a European playoff, but not the European playoff that has Italy involved. So they avoided probably the best remaining team that is not qualified in Europe, in Italy. They avoided probably all the best remaining teams in the second grouping in pot 2. They didn't get the worst team in pot 3. It's a really, really, really good draw for the United States. So it's the United States, Australia, Paraguay, and the winner of a European play-in. Skaz, your thoughts? Generally a good draw for the United States today?
Yeah, I would say generally a very favorable draw for the United States. Very FIFA fashion, I will say. But yeah, and when you were about to go into the explanation there for the pots, I thought you were going to break down how they did it on TV today, which was quite a spectacle as well, because I don't even know how you would explain exactly what took place. But yes, getting to the soccer, a very favorable draw. Paraguay is not what they used to be, still an okay team. Australia is probably right outside top 20, 25 teams in the world, and the U.S. probably, hanging right around 15. So very favorable draw for the United States. They should get, they'll be on the West Coast, I think, to start some of these games.
Los Angeles, and then Seattle.
Yeah, a big day for the U.S., but it also means expectations, something the U.S. National team has struggled with, not only at the World Cup, but just on the world stage in general. So they're going to go into this World Cup, Pochettino, this team, with real legit expectations to not only advance from the group, but kind of do it in, dominating fashion.
Yeah. The United States, the expectations for really 20 to 30 years at this point has been advance from the group. Anything less than advancing from the group for the United States is a massive failure at the World Cup, not to mention failing to make the World Cup in 2018, which is still just unforgivable. So yes, the U.S. should roll in that group. They should be pretty dominant in that group. They should come out as the number one team in that group, which gives you a more favorable matchup once you get to the knockout stage. Again, finishing top of the group gives you a better matchup. So there is that. Just as an aside, real quick, before we get to the presentation today, Skaz, I had a conversation with somebody a couple days ago, and they said, well, there shouldn't be any expectations for the United States at the World Cup. Our best players, our best athletes don't play soccer. In all these other countries, their best players, their best athletes do play soccer. And I just think that's such... You missed the mark in 2025 and in 2026. There is more parity in international soccer than there ever has been in the history of the sport. 4 years ago, less than 4 years ago, Morocco made the World Cup semifinal. You're telling me that the United States cannot be better at soccer than Morocco. I reject that. I reject that wholly. In 2018, Croatia, which is a good soccer country, not the world's best soccer country, but a good soccer country.
How many people live in Croatia?
Like 3 million or something like that?
Just under 4 million.
That's like the population of Rhode Island, isn't it? Or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can't compete with them.
I reject that. I reject that. Now, if you're telling me, all right, the United States is never going to be Spain, France, England, Argentina, or Brazil. Yes, I get that. Germany. You're telling me the United States might never be the Netherlands at soccer? Fine. I think that should be attainable, but I mean, you want to talk about a country that truly punches above their weight in soccer. I mean, the Netherlands is a force. They're the best country to never win the World Cup. They're that good. But I mean, for the love of God, you're telling me that in this day and age in soccer that the United States cannot match what countries like Croatia and Morocco are doing? I reject that completely. So I just want to get that out there, especially on home soil, especially with the quality of players that have been produced by the United States. They have not put it together as a team, and organizationally, U.S. soccer is a disaster. But the United States is now producing, really for the first time ever, an entire roster worth of players who are starting quality players in Europe. So you're telling me that we can't do what Morocco does, I disagree with that. And this is a good draw for them. This is the biggest moment in the history of soccer in this country, and the U.S. men's national team must meet that moment. I'm not convinced they will because they never do. I think it's too much pressure. I think the U.S. soccer is a disastrous organization, and I guarantee you they're going to miss this opportunity. But the draw again today is so favorable for them, so favorable that do not let them off the hook. This team should advance to the quarterfinals of the World Cup. Minimum. At a minimum, they should be a quarterfinal team. 617-779-0985. Now to the presentation, Skaz, which today, how would you best describe what we watched on television? It might be, I can't decide if it's the worst television program I've ever watched or just the second worst. It was something else.
I think I said it to you during the Celtics game, but it was like if, who knows SNL tomorrow night, but like if SNL had tried to come up with, and I know everyone, hates on SNL now, but if SNL had tried to come up with what took place at the World Cup draw today, and it was what actually happened, you would have said that was way too over the top. There's no way, it was too heavy-handed. No such thing. The Village people were there. Gianni Infantino got up on stage about 7 or 8 times and apologized at the end for how many times he was up there. Heidi Klum made Kevin Hart look shorter than he's ever looked before numerous times. Brady was there. Aaron Judge was there. We have some Wayne Gretzky audio that we might have to get to.
We'll get to the Wayne Gretzky thing, and let's not dance around it. The Trump stuff he was very present. Very present. You think Taylor Swift is present on an NFL broadcast? He was out there. My favorite part was outside of the Village people at the end, which was an all-time way for the broadcast to end.
I thought that was a dead giveaway that Trump was there. My apologies for not clearing that up earlier.
No. I did really like the part where they made up a peace trophy. Literally made up a peace trophy and then gave it to him as we're on the verge of invading Venezuela. The irony of the whole thing was one of the greatest things I've ever watched. And
it was a true train wreck, and FIFA is known for being, maybe only second to boxing judges in terms of, corruption in sports.
And not just corrupt, shamelessly corrupt.
Yes, like blatant. They're proud of it almost. And I would say Gianni Infantino today was like Mike Lombardi to Donald Trump. That was the level of ball washing that was going on. It was quite something.
But we did have the best moment I've ever seen on TV, which is the great one, Wayne Gretzky trying to pronounce the names of the countries as he revealed them during the draw. Let's get a little taste of it.
Okay, we got the winner, Denmark, North Macedonia, Czechia, Republic of Ireland.
Caraco. Not Morocco, right? No?
I don't believe so.
No, that would be Curacao. Wayne Gretzky, not a big Little League World Series guy. Curacao, often a force in the Little League World Series, and maybe a force in the World Cup. Canada kind of got porked today. Group B, that looks tough. Group I, that's tough. Tough group there. Group D, good for the United States. All right, he's Skaz. I'm Matt McCarthy. Have a great night. See ya.